If you're a maker or woodworker on YouTube and looking to start out, this might be the video for you. Hey folks, I'm Zito, and today we're gonna take a look at what 4 of my favorite makers/YouTubers do on this particular platform. This is a bit of a different style of video from what I normally make because I'm kind of hurt right now. It was a dang snowboarding accident. Inspired by the likes of folks like Patty Galloway, who's done incredible analyses on various makers, I basically wanted to kind of tailor this to my particular niche of work that I kind of do, which is kind of in the maker/woodworking YouTube world. And I basically want to do this to give myself insights as to what I can potentially do better on this particular platform moving forward. So the makers I'm going to be looking at include Bob Claggett from I Like to Make Stuff, Benjamin Uyeda, who's Homemade Modern, Jonathan Katz-Moses, and Xyla Foxlin. Basically take a look at what they did in 2021 to kind of give insights to further on. So without further ado, let's get right into it. First up, I wanted to take a look at one of my favorites, which is I Like to Make Stuff. Based on subscribership, he's the biggest of the bunch with 3.24 million subs. With 280 million views on 431 videos, he started in 2013 and hails from the state of Kentucky. He has a team of 4 working with him, and his most popular video to date is how to make a wooden katana from hardwood flooring with 16.9 million views. When we take a look at 2021, Bob and team put out 38 videos with an average length of 19 to 20 minutes. Thus, he pretty much puts out a video once every 1.4 weeks. His biggest video last year was kitchen cabinets. Is it cheaper to build them or buy them? And with all his titles, he likes to add the I Like to Make Stuff at the very end of them. That particular video did 1 million views. And of course, a big thing to look at for a creator is their CTR, or click-through rate. A few metrics that I want to look at was the average number of characters in his titles and also what his thumbnails look like. When you look at the characters in his titles, Bob usually has about 56 characters on average. This is including the I Like to Make Stuff that he adds on at the end of every title. When looking at Bob's thumbnails, he certainly has a Mr. Beast-esque thumbnail where there are bright colors, some intriguing wording, and his face is in approximately 80% of the videos that he put out in 2021. Bob's ultimately one of my favorites because he's pretty true to himself. He has such an incredible library, and oftentimes when I first started woodworking, I was like, how is this dude literally doing everything? The Making It podcast with David Prosciutto and Jimmy Dresta honestly just makes me feel like I'm a part of the crew, and it's just super relatable being able to listen to them every week. Now, when it comes to YouTube, Bob has mentioned that all his numbers seem to be down from the previous years.
So we saw a pretty big drop-off in most things through 2020. It came kind of back up at the end of the year, but then this year has been kind of down again. I was really blessed and lucky to get in at a particular time when there was an appetite, and I think now, maybe the appetite's still there, but there's plenty to go around. You know, there's plenty of content, so.
In 2020, he'd hit 272,000 views on average per each video to 265,000 views in each of his videos for 2021. If you're talking about football stadiums, Bob is literally filling 3 to 4 stadiums with regards to the number of views on each of his videos. By a lot of standards, these are huge numbers, and Bob, you have a ton to be proud of.
And clearly people really like when I put out these videos that are more educational and not just a whole build.
So Jonathan is one of those makers where when his notifications pop up, I will basically watch through his videos almost immediately every time. So different from the others, Jonathan's content in 2021 was essentially all tips and tool review videos. When we dive into his content, Jonathan has 428,000 subs with 224 videos on the channel and with over 50 million views altogether. He started in 2015 and hails from the Los Angeles, California area. He made 52 videos in 2020, and in 2021 he made 32 videos, with an average video length of 16 to 17 minutes. Thus, Jonathan put out a video once every 1.7 weeks, and his most popular video to date is How Safe is a Saw Stop, and it's an absolute smash with 19 million views. In 2021, his Routers 7 Important Things You Should Know video had about 382,000 views. On average, Jonathan's titles are about 65 characters in length, which is the longest of the bunch, but it's probably because his videos are so specific and educational. He's got his face in his thumbnails about 53% of the times. On an average day, Jonathan gains about 267 subs. And when you look at views from 2020 to 2021, his average views for both years were respectively 506,000 views in 2020 to 115,000 views in 2021. But if you take away Jonathan's smash success of 19 million views for his SawStop video, the average in 2020 was actually about 143,000, which keeps his 2020 to 2021 numbers much closer. I can't say enough great things about Jonathan because the man is straight up growing the hobby. I seriously love watching his content, and he makes woodworking so approachable, and he's got such an incredible radio voice, and is sort of just like a father figure at times.
You know how you have those ideas that are like really stupid and you know you shouldn't do them, but then you think about them and they fester, and then you do them?
Xyla Foxlin's channel is mostly building all the wild things she loves to build, from cedar strip canoes to corsets made with cedar strips, rockets, and much more. She's quite the personality and all-around rad person. Her most popular video to date is her cedar strip canoe, in which she built in 30 days with her uncle in Vermont. She mostly films herself, but she has friends helping here and there. With 267,000 subs on 23 videos over 2 years, she has 9 million views lifetime. She also hails, once again, from the California area. Out of her 23 videos, she's created 8 videos in 2020 and 15 videos in 2021. On average, she puts out a video every 3.6 weeks, which is the longest extent between videos amongst the creators we're looking at. Her average video length was 21 to 22 minutes, and her most popular upload in 2021 was building a machine physicists called Impossible, where she essentially collaborated with the ever-popular Derek from Veritasium. When it comes to click-through rate, she has some of the shortest titles with approximately 45 characters for each of the videos, and her face appears in 93% of her thumbnails. An interesting stat when looking at Xyla compared to the others in the group is that she gets approximately 467 subscriptions per day, which is the highest of the group. I think it's pretty interesting because I think it potentially speaks to what the aforementioned Derek from Veritasium calls the YouTube life cycle, in which Xyla is on a really incredible trajectory versus some of the other channels mentioned before. But we can talk about that a little later on. When I talked to my pal Lindsay, who's helping Xyla currently build out her workshop, she said that Xyla is super sweet, down to earth, and funny. Exactly what you basically would see from her videos. She seems to not take herself too seriously and is just a real person. Also, when it comes to building anything, she's straight up fearless and not afraid to try stuff. She made a bulletproof gown and then she went ahead and shot it. Xyla is ultimately a brilliant engineer and making really cool stuff at the end of the day and inspiring people all over.
The way I sort of look at it is, I have the opportunity, if I have a good idea that resonates with people, to have it reach an extraordinary amount of people. If I have a mediocre idea, I have the opportunity for it to reach a football stadium size of people, which is a fallback, kind of amazing.
Lastly, I want to talk about Homemade Modern's Ben Uyeda. Ben's truly an OG in the game with multifaceted how-to videos and a totally recognizable self-narration. His most popular video to date is how to make an outdoor sofa with 6.6 million views. It looks like he films himself mostly on a tripod and has 1.52 million subs. He's got 130 million views on over 350 videos since he started in 2013, hailing once again from the Joshua Tree area in California. Ben produced 37 videos in 2020 and 36 videos in 2021, pretty consistent. His average video length was 9.4 minutes and puts out a video every 1.5 weeks. In 2021, he had a smash hit with his I Made a Hot Tub with 2x6, which saw 2.7 million views. When it comes to particulars, Ben has an average of 46 characters in his titles, and his face, which is actually more of his whole body, appears in his thumbnails about 55% of the time. I'd say that Ben's thumbnails are probably the least clickbaity out of the bunch. Like I said in the intro, Ben's just such a recognizable OG in the game. He gains 334 subscriptions on an average day, and looking at Ben's 2020 to 2021 numbers, on average in 2020, he had 598,000 views per video, compared to 144,000 views per video in 2021. This is because he smashed 2020 with a handful of viral hits that year. He was also busy working on his second channel, the Modern Home Project, and to be quite honest with you, he pulls some pretty huge numbers over there. But for the sake of this particular video, we're just looking at his original channel. When you break down the top 45 videos for Jonathan, Ben, and Bob throughout the years, this is how they look. And when you kind of look at that, it might speak to what I previously mentioned as the YouTube life cycle. It's inevitable that sometimes YouTubers see a peak and over time, numbers kind of flatten a bit. That's not to say though that Bob, Ben, and Jonathan are doing incredible numbers by pretty much anybody's standards. So if you're a creator thinking about creating a YouTube channel, what should you do in 2022? If these numbers are at all indicators from these incredible YouTubers, then on average, you probably want to put out a video that's 16 to 17 minutes long, once every 2 weeks, averaging approximately 30 videos per year. Your titles should have on average 53 characters, and you should have your face in approximately 70% of your thumbnails. Of course, this is all completely subjective, and this is an incredibly small subset of makers that I've looked at. These are effectively just insights that I was personally curious to, and I figured that a video like this could probably provide value and insights to other makers out there. And while I think it's fun to look at the numbers, ultimately these YouTubers are incredible people who put out incredible content. This volume of work is so damn hard to do and to actually put out. So while I've had blips of success on this particular platform, I think when I started, I had no clue as to the consistency that was going to be required to actually do big things on this particular platform. In talking about the YouTube lifecycle, while it may sound a little bit negative, Paddy Galloway, who inspired this particular video, his latest video actually features a maker who pulled himself out of the particular YouTube lifecycle and is back on the rise once again. So there's definitely room to grow ultimately on this particular platform, no matter where you're at. I think you just have to potentially reframe what you're putting out there and generalize things to potentially a bigger audience. But anyhow, I hope this was insightful. I hope you enjoyed this, and hopefully this helps a little bit. Yeah, just want to thank folks for sticking around. If you've made it this far, thank you so much. And yeah, I'm gonna start on some other projects as soon as I kind of heal up. And yeah, appreciate y'all checking this out. All right, take care. Peace.